They got one of the best restaurants.
Wanted to get your hands dirty and see the whole process.
Wait, is this Taste of the Tavern?
Episode number 2, they brought us back. Super pumped. I'm Ben Hutchison alongside Executive Chef Dan Casey and Director of Food and Beverage Jimmy Kokless. How are you, gentlemen?
Good. Hey, Ben. How you doing?
I'm pretty good because it's the holidays. This is an exciting time. I love it because, it gets colder. I'm fine with that, but just there's a different energy, I think, around the community. People are getting ready to buy presents, everything like that. Celebrating Thanksgiving. We had a big Thanksgiving here, Chef.
Yeah, we did our Thanksgiving meal to go for the third year. The third year, and it was really successful again. And thank you to everybody that ordered those meals. And by the feedback I received, and lots of text messages and a few calls that day, everybody seemed very, very happy with them.
Takes a little pressure off maybe the home front if they're hosting and having to have people over. But it was different than last year. Last year was crazy because we were closed. I think a lot of people stayed home. So did you notice a difference?
Yeah, just by the numbers, we fed over 600 people last year, meals-wise, and then this year was just over 200. So it was quite a huge number last year, and we definitely pushed our kitchen and the space to the boundary, and it was really fun. This year, compared to last year, systems in place and all of these things we do, but when you go from feeding 600 people one year and then 200 the next, it seemed really stress-free, which was good. There's a lot of pressure on us for Thanksgiving, which probably people don't realize, but you are cooking the most traditional meal that we eat all year. Everybody has, the way that they do things and the way they like things and the traditional things. So we're sort of messing with tradition a little bit, but I like it. I think we do a nice job.
Yeah, anytime you offer something outside the realms of your menu, your dining room menu, it sets you apart. That's why we are who we are, I believe, because we do all these extra things. It's easy to make the excuse of we don't have time because, yes, we have a full-service restaurant that's open from 11 to whenever we close at night, right? That's a cop-out. We get bored easy, I feel like. You can become, stagnant. You can become boring. And it's a nice way to break up the day. Grinch brunch is coming up. That's a fun one because I think we have, and again, I'm not being biased, but I think we have the best Grinch character that does our brunch for us. And this will be now the third year that we are running the Grinch brunch. It was a huge success year one when we did this. It actually blew away the Santa brunch that we had done in the past. And we're actually not going to do Santa because the Grinch just has taken over year. So, we're going to stick with it. And I can't wait for the Grinch to get here. It's fun. It's a great, great, great family day. He's awesome, man. Jeff does a really good job.
I don't know who Jeff is, but what do you have on the menu there, Chef?
We got all kinds of featured items. You're going to get your classic breakfasts, omelets, and that kind of stuff, but we're going to do some featured brunch items. And we really are doing it a lot different than last year. As last year, a lot of our events, Santa events, Mother's Day, Easters, and that kind of thing were buffets, and we are going to do it off the menu to ensure that every guest that comes is getting the same quality from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., so your food will be cooked to order. And I think after doing this a couple of years, we've really found, where our flaws are or where we could be better, looking at it from an outside perspective, really just keeping it high quality.
A bit more marketing, though, and more of what we're doing. We're going to launch our TV dinners, and we actually did a throwback TV ad a couple times for that. Let's actually play some of that commercial, and it's actually our official sponsor of this podcast today is the McWethy's Tavern TV dinners. Let's roll it.
After a long day at McWethy's Tavern, the one thing that I like to do when I get home is cook an amazing dinner for my beautiful wife Val and little Mau Mau. Now, even if I'm a little off schedule, I could always pull a McWethy's Tavern TV dinner straight from the freezing compartment of my refrigerator and pop the chicken piccata right into the oven. After all, they're oven ready in individual heat and serve trays. You serve big, moist pieces of chicken, hearty greens. You'll have the whole family jealous. Of course there's some for you, Oliver. Oh golly, I just love my family so much. And that's why we eat McWethy's TV dinners.
Making McWethy's TV dinners.
Yes, we are sponsoring ourselves. If you're interested in sponsoring the podcast, you can get in contact with Chef Dan, and we can make something work out. But that was fun. People have to check out our socials for that as well. We shot these commercials last year, and a lot of us were included in it, and we just went back to the TV dinners.
Dude, those are the funnest videos since I've been here almost going on 7 years. Those were the coolest videos we've shot from an FMB standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, those are probably the funnest things that I've been part of in my career. That was super fun. And to be able to get my family involved, my wife and my daughter are both in the video. And my kids will watch it on the YouTube channel like all the time. And our general manager, Bill, like his quote, "Way to raspberries." Like the kids will use this dialogue like at home, and it's so much fun.
We have to shoot a third one. We have to bring it back.
Yeah,
for
we
this
need
year.
to.
Ben, make it
Come
happen.
on, Ben.
I'm all for shooting another one.
Let's do a third one.
I believe Jimmy was wondering, hey, should we take the time to shoot a third one? Yes. Yes, we should.
We should.
The theme works, and it's all old school. We throw it back to the 50s and 60s, throw a little black and white on it, some little crinkles on the TV screen there, and it's fun. So always a good time. Speaking of the holidays, though, and TV dinners, which you can get here anytime, do you enjoy cooking around the holidays, or is that when you try to put your feet up, chef, and not cook? I know your wife's a pretty talented cook as well.
Yes, my wife is a chef as well. Thanksgiving, usually I do little to none. My father-in-law and mother-in-law usually host Thanksgiving, and my wife helps tremendously with all the preparation on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And then we host Christmas dinner every year at our house. So usually Thanksgiving, it's a very traditional meal, let dad do what he needs to do, and then sort of just the family environment around the table. And then Christmas every year for the past 5 or 6 years, my wife and I have done a different cuisine every year. And then this year we're calling it Cook from the Book. So we pulled 2 cookbooks off our shelf, picked 5 or 6 recipes from there, and then we're just going to sort of cook it. But we always try and do something a little different, a little fun. Last year we did Greek, and we got to do saganaki in the dining room, and it's just fun.
Jimmy, you've been around every kind of food all over the world, everywhere else. Do you enjoy cooking? I know you just hosted Thanksgiving.
I do. I enjoy having people over. My mom and dad, when we were younger, constantly had barbecues and parties, and any excuse to throw a party for anything, we had people over. My dad just loved doing it. And I think that's just, I took that on. I enjoy it. So, yeah, I do Thanksgiving every year. I do Christmas Eve, and then I let, either my mom or my mother-in-law do Christmas Day, and I kind of just take a back seat to that one.
Holidays are tough for me cooking-wise because I can have people over for a barbecue or something, but I'm not one to be able to really want to prepare a turkey. I can do a ham or whatever else, but I don't know, I'm kind of just like, I like hosting. I like having people over, but let's order a pizza.
Yeah.
I think that's just the easiest thing.
There's nothing wrong with
so
that
I go
either.
to my parents or my wife's parents, and they'll do the big spread out, the pork tenderloin, whatever, for the holidays. But I think hosting's fun. I just think there's a lot of work when it comes to the kitchen. And my wife is so detailed about, we got to have this at this table, this table, this table. So it's great. I'm just not going to be able to fill that unless it's something I can buy from the store. Which I'm happy to do the errands and go get it and fill the bowls.
Right.
So it's not because I don't care. I promise. All right. Well, I do want to ask, I saw something online. This is kind of just a fun food thing. We were talking about Wagyu steak, and there was this Reddit post about how the steak enthusiast was able to get A5 Wagyu steak at a really, really good price, right? And he was hosting Thanksgiving. And so he's like, hey, I got 10 people. I'm going to make this for them. Well, his buddy had a new girlfriend, and she wanted hers well done. And he's like,
She's out.
no way.
She's
I'm
out.
not doing this. And she got upset, allegedly. Again, this is a story I read online. She got upset. The boyfriend's like, dude, just do it. They kind of got in a tussle. The steak fell on the floor, and the dog ate it.
Oh, that dog had the best meal of his life.
So Reddit was split on who's in the right here, the guy that's protecting the integrity of the steak, or, hey, they're your guest. If that's what they want, you give it to them that way. I'll start with Chef.
Oh, man. All right, here is my opinion on this situation. I mean, it could be Wagyu beef or it could be a cheeseburger. In a kitchen, we get an order from a guest. Our job is to make the food the guest way. I could recommend everything all day. I eat my burger medium, and it depends what kind of steak I'm getting on the temperature. I like New York strips on the rare side. Ribeye is probably medium. I mean, there are fats and all of these connective tissues that melt and do things at different temperatures. But if you come over to my house and you want your steak well done, I'll probably cook it well done.
So you're going with the guest.
Always.
Internally, does it pain you, though?
Yes. Pain is a very nice way of putting it.
All right, Jimmy, where are you at on that argument?
I'm with him, man. I cannot here, and I'll tell you why. I'm with him because I have family that eat well done steak. My mom and my mother-in-law, both well done. I mean, here it's got to be a brick, right? We didn't grow up like that. You know, we started venturing art. You know, I was, fortunate to grow up in a restaurant. So I got to venture into, hey, I want a burger medium rare. Even though that's like the sin in my Greek household. Back then when I was little, like don't eat ground beef. Medium rare, you're gonna get a disease and you're gonna die. Well, yeah. I've eaten a lot of medium rare burgers. I'm here still, 41 years old.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can't kill a piece of meat, man. There's flavor there that has to come through the meat. So I'm with him on not cooking that piece of meat well done.
Yeah, this is kind of off topic, but sort of the same, I guess, value of the question is the restaurant Alinea, downtown Chicago, the one of 3 Michelin star restaurants in Chicago. There was, when they first opened the second year, I think there was an article in Food and Wine magazine. The guests asked for salt at the table, like a salt shaker, and you don't do that when you're eating 26-course tasting menu or whatever. Like everything is perfect. That's the chef's way and da-da-da. And then the dish got sent back to the kitchen because the server at the table was like, oh, God, this is bad. We screwed up. So then the chef tasted it. He went over to the cook. He asked them to prepare a new dish. They brought a new dish to the table with a salt shaker. There was only one salt and pepper shaker in the entire restaurant because, kudos to them for at least having it because, Alinea, designs all their own plateware and there's, hammocks and stuff that bring out your meal and it's crazy. But the cook was so nervous when the chef brought the meal to him because he thought he was about to get in trouble that he screwed it up. And the chef said, it's perfect, but we need another one. This is how they want it. So that's what they did. And, kudos to them. And it was... there was a picture, man, I don't even know how I would find the article now, but there's a picture at Alinea, and there's the server station, and there's one shelf, and it's a huge shelf. It's 6 feet long. And at the very end of the shelf is just one salt and pepper, apparatus thing. Yeah. It's crazy. But it's kind of, you could think you're a hot-headed chef or you're the best in the world and you could do everything perfect, but the guest is always right. I say those words carefully, but we give you what you want.
Some chefs are, I'd say, more willing than others is a nice way to put it.
Yes.
And the egos and not egos. I went to Cleveland, a couple of Michael Simon's restaurants, the burger one, and you can't modify a burger a certain way because that's not the way the chef wants it. And then also at the barbecue restaurant, I think there was one type of sauce and not 2 or 3 barbecues and a sassy. There's nothing like that because if good barbecue doesn't need sauce, and that's not how it comes. Which for me as the guest, I was frustrated as a normal just guy, whatever. I wanted this on my burger. It's you can't have that. You can have stuff taken off the burger, but you can't have it added to the burger.
Yeah, and there's some restaurants that design their production and labor and all of these things around, you could be making 50 of, I'm just going to use a cheeseburger as an example. If there's a restaurant that serves sliders and they just do sliders with cheese, they're going to make like 60 of them at a time. They're going to keep a line moving, fast efficiency. And if you want it without cheese, you are literally stopping a production line. So in the defense of restaurants like that, like a barbecue restaurant or something per se, like there's like an assembly line, like somebody's like slicing brisket or something and just putting it on a plate, and there's like lots of movement happening. They know they're going to get rid of all that product. They know they're selling all that stuff, so they just keep doing it the way that it's done, keep going. And yeah, in that matter, then I can sort of agree with the situation, but in a restaurant where you're sitting down, ordering a la carte, ordering things, allergies, all these things come up. You don't like tomatoes on your burger, well, ask for it without, and we'll do it.
It's a good perspective. I can't say I really saw it that way as a guest at the time, but it makes sense. Absolutely. Now, being more in the restaurant industry and behind the scenes, that I've seen how important that type of stuff is, but at the time I was just working in TV, and one thing about that, I was just hungry in the moment. But I mean, Jimmy, your operations, you know how it goes with ordering food and having stuff on hand as chef, goes through his orders as well.
Like, I still wouldn't care. Like, if you came to the restaurant and didn't want it a certain way, I'd probably stop the production and do it. Like, I have been in situations where I've completely ruined efficient, like, wedding plating or something just to give the guests what they want. And I think we should. My opinion stands, but I understand.
Well, that's what sets us apart.
I think, though, the original question was, yes, for a guest, right? You're paying for something. You want it a certain way. You get it. I think we all agree within our restaurants we do that. I think the initial question that Ben asked was our opinion on who's right in the situation of the guy or his girlfriend that happened to drop the Wagyu beef on the floor, right? So I think personally my opinion is what I've said, right?
You were on the steak enthusiast side.
Yep.
He was on the guest side, but it still hurt him internally, but he's going to go with the guest. I'm on the steak guy's side, and then the friend with the girlfriend ended up allegedly invoicing his friend $25 for the mess he left on the dress when the steak flew off the thing and hit her dress. Jeez. To add insult to injury.
Yes, that's fantastic.
That's great. Bad situation. I guess it made dinner awkward the rest of the night, and then they left pretty shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I can't imagine you're going to stick around and play Pictionary.
I mean, it's the situation that would happen at home, right? Like, you can argue, like, if your guest said, like, I make my burger well done, now you're, like, arguing with somebody that you invited in your house. And the same thing's going to happen at a table in a restaurant. If you're serving a table and they ask for something and we say no, you're just creating conflict in a hospitable atmosphere. It shouldn't be that way.
Shouldn't be. So circling back to McWethy's Tavern, what are you guys looking forward to kind of closing out the year and heading into 2022?
I mean, we got a ton of exciting stuff coming up. Banquets is cranking with holiday parties. Those are always fun. Lots of just positive energy. You go from people celebrating love and weddings and all this, and then you see more like corporate people just coming in and enjoying the space. So it's definitely a different guest coming into the building on the banquet side and enjoying it, but still just like a very cheerful, exciting, positive attitude. And then the restaurant this time of year, it seems like all the big groups are getting together, big lunches, big dinners, just celebrating. Lots of schools and parties happening in the pub and lots of bar energy. It's always just a fun time of year to work in a restaurant.
Yeah, I think banquets, it breaks up the monotonous of the most of the year. I don't want to say the rest of the year, but most of the year. Weddings are traditionally ran the same way, right? Here's your timeline. Here's when food, salad hits at this time, dinner hits at that time, drinks, dancing, yada, yada. Here we go. But yeah, holiday parties are a good mix of everything but that, right? Each one is different. They're not the same. Different menus, different guests. Like Chef said, they're fun. And the decor aspect, I'm a huge decor guy. So, if they look cool, there's a banging buffet set up with awesome decor that just looks fantastic. That makes the party that much better. And then for the tavern, obviously the tavern is rocking. We have built ourselves a nice little restaurant, and the community really stands behind our product, and they are starting to come out and getting together with family and friends. So it's pretty cool to see.
I was going to say, for many, especially companies or businesses, this is the first time they've gotten to hang out in a fun atmosphere for a party-type atmosphere. And I'm with you. I love seeing the decorations up. We do a great job here. the managers, everyone just kind of planning that, having the big Christmas trees up. I think it's just more of a family atmosphere, which we are a big family here at Mistwood and McWethy's Tavern. So I think it's just it's a warm feeling when you're like hanging out this time of year, especially.
I agree.
Well, let's try to get together back in the studio before the end of the year for episode 3. And I look forward to sitting down with you gentlemen again soon.
Yes.
Thanks,
Have
Ben.
a Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everybody.
See you soon.
Merry Christmas.
They got one of the best restaurants.
Wanted to get your hands dirty and see the whole process.
Wait, is this Taste of the Tavern?